from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, December 19th. So today we have the moon in Leo energy again here all day, but we're definitely in for a better day than we had yesterday. We were kind of that scared, cowardly little kitten for the majority of the day as we had triggers and activations kind of, bring out those emotions, bring out that new truth, bring out that frustration to let us know what it is that we're actually passionate about, what we're anticipating, and what needs to change. Today, there are going to be 9 different aspects taking place here today, 7 of them involving the moon, and the 2 that do not involve the moon are very positive aspects. Thank goodness for that. So, we're going to kick the day off with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. She's in this Aquarius energy, trying to kind of think futuristically on the reality that she wants to be living, where happiness, joy, safety, security, stability is concerned, especially where relationships and finances are the spotlight. Now we're trying to figure out what we have power and control over here in this present moment to fix, to adjust, to improve in order to help us actually align with that goal, vision, and dream that, again, we're conjuring up in our mind's eye. We have Venus making a very positive interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who of course is in Pisces energy, trying to wrap up a 30-year cycle, trying to dissolve the old boundaries, structures, foundations that the old version of self had once built and created that the new version of self kind of feels trapped in. Now, this is a beautiful interaction because, first of all, it's bringing a grounded energy in order for us to kind of move into our imagination, to allow ourselves to kind of receive some intuitive downloads, some logical, practical insight as well, so that we can blend what it is that we're dreaming of with hopes, wishes, and dreams with the actual logical, practical probability of being able to bring something new to life. We are going to be a lot more organized in our thoughts and our emotions. We are going to have a clearer idea of what needs to be done. And we are definitely emotionally detached so that we're not caught up in the emotions. We're not caught up in the pressure that is going to come with the realization that, again, certain chapters need to end, need to be brought to a close before we can start pursuing something new. We have the moon in Leo energy making a little bit of an awkward interaction with that North Node in Aries. The North Node trying to get us on the right path, trying to get us in alignment with a soul mission, with a soul purpose that, of course, we're excited to do, we're excited to pursue. However, we're still kind of in the cowardly kitten era. We are building up our confidence. We're building the boldness, the bravery, the courage that we know that we're going to need in order to bust into a new path, into a new direction. So, of course, at this particular point in time, there is a little bit of fear, doubt, insecurity rising up within us because we know that we're going to have to do all of the things, all of the hard things in order to put the past behind us and give ourselves the space, the clean slate in order for us to be building towards something new. We have the moon then trining, which is a beautiful interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy, helping us to be this new version of self, helping us to heal the parts of self that are still a little bit wounded, still very much aligned with the ego programming that, of course, we're trying to break away from. A trine means that we are dealing with like-minded elements. This is fire on fire action, and we love fire because not only does it help to burn away those heavier thoughts, those heavier emotions, but it reignites a fire, a spark, a flame within us, and this is essentially when the cowardly little kitten becomes the king of the jungle once again. We are feeling a lot more confident within ourselves. We are feeling a lot more bold, brave, and courageous than we were earlier on in the day. And we are very prepared to boss up and do what needs to be done in order for us to, again, bring full circle situations and circumstances that belong to the old version of self so that the new version of self has permission and power to start building towards something new. The moon is then going to make a positive interaction with Neptune. Neptune, of course, now direct in his rulership in this Pisces energy, also wrapping up a chapter that we all entered into in 2011. And so again, we're still in the year of 8. We're still in the closure, the finality chapter. We are definitely going to be feeling those endings in order for new beginnings to actually have a place to be initiated throughout the course of 2025. And so the moon in alignment with Neptune right now, we're heart aligned with the goal, the vision, the dream that our soul space, our heart space wants to do, wants to pursue. We're tapping into a lot of renewal energy where hopes, wishes, and dreams are concerned. And we're building upon our faith within ourselves, within the universe, within the greater, grander plan, that as long as we are following our heart space, we're exactly where it is that we need to be. Now, things get a little bit choppy. 3:04 p.m. We have the moon in Leo energy getting into the boxing ring, squaring off with Uranus, the great awakener, who of course is retrograde in this Taurus energy, trying to highlight for us where it is that we're still holding on to the old. Certain people, places, and things that old version of self kind of connected and attached to, like a security blanket. We have no use for them. We've outgrown them. There's no purpose left, but we're still holding on. And of course, that energy, that connection, that resistance to releasing it, to kind of, doing the changes that we have to be doing in order to break away and set ourselves free, we are essentially in this square, creating tension and conflict. This is a growing pain. The moon in Leo, getting us heart aligned. We have to unpack why it is that we have these connections, why it is that we're resisting these changes, what it is that we're actually afraid of by letting go of, again, these people, places, and things. Uranus is kind of operating from the higher octave of our intellect, acting as the observer. And as long as we are heart aligned and we're being real and raw and vulnerable with ourselves, getting down to the nitty gritty of the fears, doubts, and insecurities that we're currently holding on to by holding on to these particular connections, we are going to have a shift in perspective. We're going to understand ourselves a little bit deeper, and we are going to understand where the resistance is alive and well, and we're going to be able to flip the script about that. Now, the moon in Leo then goes ahead and makes a positive interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. So something must have shifted in us from that square, from that tension point, from that growing pain, the download, the epiphany of why it is that we're holding on to the old, even though it's serving no purpose other than keeping us restricted and limited from actually moving on and moving forward. Something must have changed. Something must have shifted, because the North Node in Aries energy is trying to get us on the right path, trying to get us in alignment with the mission, with the purpose that our heart and soul space needs us to do, needs us to pursue. And suddenly we are rising to the challenge. We are rising to the roles and responsibilities that we have in order to wrap up this old chapter before we can pursue this new path, this new direction. The moon in Leo going to make a positive interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's currently retrograde, looking back, reanalyzing, revisiting a lot of the tough love life lessons that, of course, we've learned the hard way, but we're not really putting what we've learned into practice. Of course, in the Gemini energy, we're looking to expand on old ideas, old projects, old goals. We are looking to expand on old information and knowledge that, again, we're failing to integrate in this present moment. We are definitely illuminated to where it is that, again, we have the opportunity to kind of reignite a fire, a spark, a flame with creative projects, with new goals, with things that maybe got backburnered because life got busy, that we get to breathe new life into. We do have the moon in Leo making a very harsh interaction with Neptune, of course, in his rulership in Pisces energy. This is, I'm not going to say our energy and effort reverting back to the cowardly little kitten. We are still very much the lion. However, we're kind of getting overwhelmed. Again, just when we're feeling good, just when we're onto something, just when we're feeling in alignment, just when we're kind of prepared to make a shift within ourselves, that ego programming pulls us back into the darkness. Now, this is where we get overwhelmed with emotion. This is where we get overwhelmed with the to-do list. This is where, again, we just are picking up on so many different energies. We don't know what belongs to us. We don't know what doesn't. And because of that, we just want to kind of curl up in a ball. We want to kind of sit this one out, so to speak. Now, there could be a little bit of a dip in our inspiration. There could be a, let's call it, rise in our confusion and delusion. And again, this is just the, let's call it, matrix's energy and efforts to try and convince us that growing, that evolving just isn't something that we need to do. So the last aspect that we have popping off here today is a beautiful one, going to make up for a lot. We have Venus and Jupiter coming together for a trine. So Venus is in Aquarius energy, Jupiter's retrograde in Gemini energy. This is air on air action. We are kind of reaching a new point of alignment in our heart space, in our head space. This is going to definitely turn the positive vibes all the way up. We are, I'm going to say, a little bit more generous, a little bit more friendly. We're a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic. We want to kind of, I'm going to say, support each other. We want to lift other people up to either where we're at or even beyond where we're at. And we're really kind of tapping into this new desire, this new passion to really pursue new goals, to make the changes, the transformations necessary in order for us to be building, creating the realm and reality that not only looks good, but that feels good as well. So this is going to put us in a situation where our heart is super, super big. We're kind of seeing the compassion. We're seeing the empathy. We are feeling a lot of feels because, of course, Jupiter turns the volume all the way up. But it's all due to the shift in our perspective. Again, air energy, it's all about the headspace. We're focusing in on the things that are working. We're focusing in on the attitude of gratitude. We are focusing in on the beauty of life instead of getting caught up in all the ugliness. We're super thoughtful. We're recognizing the thoughtfulness and consideration in other people. We are definitely building our hopes, our wishes, our dreams. We are definitely in a better mood and an attitude than we've been in for a very long time. And so for those lower vibrational people out in the world that are still tapping into rudeness and harshness and hate, we're not going to be able to tolerate that at all. And again, let's just make sure that those particular people aren't triggering the ugliness within us, because again, love conquers all. Kill them with kindness if you have to, because this is a test as we move into the solstice energies. This is going to be setting us up for the next couple of days. That is going to be a little bit wackadoodle with energies because, again, we are closing out a karmic chapter. Again, we're about to enter into a new one. Again, that solstice energy and gateway is a trigger and activation point for what it is that we're about to lock in for this next season, for this next chapter. So we are very, very lucky to have Venus and Jupiter working in our favor to bring out the good vibes, to bring out that love, that empathy, that compassion, that new perspective, so that all of us light workers can focus on the good, not even for a second tolerate the bad in other people or within ourselves.